on the display because apparently this game doesn't support this game. Right, there we go. Now I can hear myself. So apparently this game doesn't support the modern widescreen resolution. I haven't really had a fix, so we'll have to play around with the settings for a while, but at least we know it's working. Going to have to use one of the no, I think it's more of an OBS thing. Hang on, let me try to adjust that manually for now. How does it look like from the OBS thing? So I have to switch scenes for the sake of it. But anyway, good evening. Welcome to Friday Classics this time. And tonight we are doing F1 Challenge 99 to 03. And I cannot seem to scale the game from here though. Yeah, seems to be going to. We may have to live with this resolution or try to play like use a different resolution for it. Have to like look around the OBS settings for a while. Pardon the delay, but at least the game is running. Going to have to check on the come on games. I have to close it first. Yeah, I can't. I was testing the game earlier. I couldn't find 1920 by 1080, so that's one thing. Just gonna have to look for the game configuration and stuff. Yeah, so we are playing F1 Challenge 99 to 02 tonight. I sometimes confuse it to 03. And it is one of the games that really struck me in during my childhood alongside GTR 2. And actually this came even before GTR 2. I think 2003. I got it as a Christmas gift from my mother. I actually had F1 2002 back at home, but the only way to get F1 Challenge 99 to 02 back then was through one of our local stores in Data Blitz because back then, well, piracy was a thing. I could just get a game from my nearest mall back in 2002 2003, but this one was a rare thing. F1 Challenge 99 to 02. I couldn't get it just from my nearest mall. Instead, I had to go to a legitimate store from a farther mall back then. Those were the good times. And I'm just looking for the correct option for the display at the moment. Otherwise, we'd have to live with the game being that small, or we'd have to hang on, use like a smaller scale resolution like 1366 by 768. Good times. I wish I still had that monitor size. I still had that size like 2 years ago, I think. Okay, just skipped one of the options. Yeah, I can't really show much of the screen right now, but I could give like a general idea or two. Let's see. I hope this works. 32-bit color as well, so that's one thing to get started. Okay, I think this would be better then. Let's see if this would work. I got the screen centered quite around right now, so let's give it a try. Right, so
EA
checking out on the
Sports. It's in the
stream
game.
gameplay. Yes. Just give it a moment for me to confirm if it has reflected. Ah, it's still like that, so I don't know. Probably could live with this with as it is because it's not really much getting in the way. At least the entire game screen is shown. My camera is seen. So I really want to probably center that thing. How do I do that? But the problem is on the monitor, right? I'll try the good old resolution 1366 by 768 though. So I'm gonna have to exit the game again before we even start get to play this game. But that means that would be the resolution would narrow even more because 1366 isn't that much. Like Oops, I launched the game
EA
again.
Sports. It's in the
Come on,
game.
let's just exit the game. You gotta love the good old EA Sports logo though, like nice and crispy, I would say. Like it's got a nice texture to it. So I have to do it like as wide as possible, but I think 1440 is the widest we could go, unless I could find a way to like center the thing on it. Hang on, let me check on the components. I mean, I don't. I still have to figure out how not to show some of my OBS stuff when I adjust things. Just going to this will take a while. Display capture should be automatic. Weird. Nah, probably just gonna live with the resolution as it is. So resolution is 1440 by 900. At least it does support 165 hertz though. Oh wait, we have a 1600. Maybe we could try that. That's the widest we could go, 1600. But the screen might look funny. 1600 by probably 1024. Yeah, let's try that. Better than the uh, better than the 1440 that I was using earlier. So pardon the little bit of a delay because yeah, alright. Right, so let's play the game then. F1 Challenge 99 to 02.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Wait, did my stream just hang? Okay, never mind. Alright, pardon that sound. We didn't want to get copyrighted. Yeah, it's not switching into game. My stream is delayed though. Come on. Ah, finally, there it is. We do have a better screen now though. But we still have a bit of a black space on the right, but I think we could live with it. So, right, so F1 Challenge 99 to 02 basically features the 99 to 2002 seasons of F1. Uh, Shortly before Sony locked the license exclusivity or exclusive license to be the official F1 game. So in 2003, Sony got the license, and that basically locked all F1 games to the PlayStation only. And the last few F1 games that were released on PC include the likes of Grand Prix 4 and this one, F1 Challenge 99 to 02, as well as I think there was also some independent developers back then who also tried to develop F1 games with at least the license because they were like there was even one point where four games in the same season had the official F1 license. So how cool was that? You had like multiple games, multiple developers having the F1 license, but that is not the thing anymore today. So we only have like one developer or publisher bringing out the official F1 game, and F1 2022 is coming out on July 1 or July 2. I think July 1 because usually comes out on a Friday to begin with. So yeah, but this one is the last one EA Sports made before Sony got the exclusive license. Just right. So sounds are good, and the season that really got me hooked into F1 was the 2001 season, so that's what I picked for tonight's stream. We'll be doing around three different tracks that are no longer the same in the current day. Actually, one track still remains the same today, although it has the older layout, which is Australia. I used to spend a lot of time on that track because it has always been the first race from 1999 to 2002 for F1, and then we'll be going to Hockenheimring, the long Hockenheimring, Ones where with the very long straights, and we'll also be going to Manicourt. I really spent a lot of time as well on that track, and this is pretty much the car of choice that I had back in my childhood, the Williams. I'm not really familiar with the naming of the Williams, but basically the 2001 Williams, which is powered by a BMW engine. And I also picked Juan Pablo Montoya as the driver because back then my mother used to tease me that I looked like Juan Pablo Montoya when I was younger. Actually, with my hair right now, I pretty much still look like him. So, anyway, without further ado, we'll be doing the race right now. And before we get there, we're just going to go through the options because whatever you have applied here will apply to your race unless it's a championship mode. And back then I usually just do 10% races because I find 25% races a little bit too long back then. So it was either 10% or 50% when I was young, but I never thought of 25% races. Probably can do, yeah, just like the old days. Let's do 10% races and put the like I this is what I usually do back when I was younger. I do 10% races. Actually, 10% feels kind of short. Yeah. 10% races, and we'll do like maximum usage. So X7 fuel, X7 tires. I don't know if the car will even last that long. And mechanical failures also can also be time scaled. So depending on how you abuse the engine, it will eventually die after a short while. And then standard rules as well. And yeah, so let's get racing with this classic. Don't have any comments yet on Racecast. Before I go to the track, of course, I'm going to check out my fan page and our YouTube. And I do hope we don't get any bots on YouTube though, because it's been a rough week lately for sim racing. Actually, rough weeks. Because last week we had SRO and that didn't go to plan. It became like the 4 hours of spa. But anyway, so no new comments yet. So we are going into the track. And one of the neat features of this game is that every time you load into a track, there's a commentator describing the track in one or few words, like what you're about to hear right now shortly. We're going to Australia first, because one of the tracks that really stuck to me when I was playing this game. So here goes.
Located in downtown Melbourne, the spectacular Albert Park circuit combines several short straights with fast, sweeping turns. Unlike most street circuits, there is not a single 90-degree turn or hairpin in sight. I hate to quote the marketing pundits, but this venue really is a great place for the race.
Yeah, he doesn't really stop talking as even though the track is fully loaded. But back in the day, by the time he ended his track narration, the game would have uh, like 90% loaded. So the machines back then were not exactly as powerful as the machines that we have now today. And we do have practice 1 and then we also have practice 2, just like pretty much accurate to the old days of F1. And look how 65 liters of fuel can only get us 2 laps. So we'll load the setup. There's no aggressive or safe setup here. You only have one setup depending on the complexity of the track, which is a nice feature, and then you can just adjust it from there. Now it's given us 112 liters, so that's quite of heavy, but should be enough to do some installation laps to begin with. So let's give it a go. The sounds were pretty good as well back in the day, and you had a pit crew telling you which way to go. Now, if in any way this game reminds you of R Factor, R Factor 2, that's because this is a predecessor to R Factor 1 back in 2005. And please, F1, bring back the V10s. That sound. And I really like using this view often, the TV cam. Except I'm using a wheel. Oh, hitting the curb, really dangerous there. Quite some physics back in the day. Used to play this more with a keyboard back then. Wow. Yeah, you touch the curves, it will hit you. So physics here feel a little bit worse than how how some games are at the moment. But bear in mind, this is 2003. Sure, you can enjoy it with the keyboard back in the day, but with a wheel, I think they developed this for a different wheel back then. Okay, so we're just gotta avoid the curve. And that physics though is pretty much similar to how GT7 is today. I mean, for its time. Oh, we got a car incoming. And you have to manually select neutral gear if you want to reverse. Still have the likes of Jenson Button, Michael Schumacher, even the young Fernando Alonso, not old Fernando Alonso. We got young Fernando Alonso in his first season in F1 back in 2001. So I don't know. Is it just me or flat spot already is a thing in 2001? Because I can feel some rumble in the wheel after those spins. And I don't have a virtual mirror, so I need to change the view later on. Oof! Wow, what a physics this game for 2001. I mean 2003. Ooh, a little bit of a screen freeze there. Okay, this will be a challenge, literally, by the title of the game, F1 Challenge 1992. And already we're out of fuel. What? Now the thing with F1 back in 2001 is a number of driving assists were actually allowed by the FIA simply because they could not police it as good as they do these days. So cars back then had traction control, so if we struggle on the drive, we could actually turn on some of the assists provided by the game, but right now we are basically driving with no assist except traction control, which is pretty much the realistic thing to do. I think we just have to avoid the curbs. Third gear. And by the way, cars back then only had like 7 gears instead of uh, instead of 8. Some teams even still were stuck at the 6 gears only rather than 7. But here we are in the Williams, we have 7 gears at our disposal. I don't think we'll make a minute and 32 because of how nervous this car is. But P8 will do. We still need work on this car and the lines. We're actually out of fuel. Ah, the brakes feel funny. What's my brake balance? It's already front-ended though. Right. What can we do with this car? We're sitting on P8 just ahead of Jos Verstappen, Jos the boss, father of Max. And Rubens Barrichello just got pole. Actually, let's try 100 meters flat. And we already have soft tires. We'll probably okay, no wonder. Wings funny. Let's put it down to like 45 on the front, 50 in the rear. Then brake pressure's at 90%. Let's make it 95. And let's drive again. We have a few people watching. Thank you to those who are stopping by the stream. I hope you are enjoying this stream. Classic game tonight. F1 Challenge 99 to 02. Good old Christmas gift from Mama back in 2003. Good times as a kid. And back then, I didn't realize what sim racing was. I mean, F1 Challenge back then to me was just another racing game that you could buy off the shelf. But for 2003, this is already considered one of the sim racing games, alongside NASCAR Racing 2003. And then you also had NASCAR in the PC, which were developed by Image Space Incorporated, which were the developers of the original R-Factor 1 and R-Factor 2, before they handed it over to Studio 397 recently. Could have just said yellow flag in Sector 3 like most other crew chiefs do in modern racing games. He'll tell you there's a spin in Sector 3, but sometimes it doesn't tell you that's a car that actually had a blown engine. Also, the spin isn't really a spin. Sometimes the car is just slow out of it. hoping the additional brake pressure would help. Lighter car, fresher tires. Getting used to the car right now. Just have to avoid the curves or use them to my advantage depending on the driving style, because the curves basically rotate your car more than you want to. Sometimes it's good to make use of it like that way. This is also one of the early racing games back in the childhood where I used to beg my parents to upgrade our computer back then. But we weren't exactly sure what to upgrade then. I remember we started by upgrading the hard drive. That didn't help. But what can you do? I was like 10 years old. Actually 11 when I got this game. That's a much cleaner lap. 1 second faster in the last sector. Let's see how this goes. P6. So that would pretty much be our qualifying phase. Although if we enable some assists, we'll be able to go much faster. Because back then F1 was a little bit more lax on the rules, lax on the technical stuff. So practice 1, probably go forward. Practice 2, probably want to skip it. And I think back then, practice 3 is on as well. Like how realistic this game is for 2003. You had 3 practice sessions before the 4 practice sessions? I didn't know. 4 practice sessions back then, I wonder. Maybe practice 4. I have a feeling practice 4 was like the Friday qualifying. But they don't follow it in this game because the real qualifying is here right now. Also, attention to detail. The practice sessions didn't have any people in the grandstands, but qualifying there are people in the grandstands. Perfectly dry conditions for practice. And we will be driving now, just to get things over with. Oh, and yeah, this is one of the games where pit road doesn't open early. Like, it's still closed for first 30 seconds. It's just like our Factor 2 today. Also in 2001, there were 2 tire manufacturers involved in Formula 1, Bridgestone and Michelin. And to be honest, I was rooting for Michelin back then. I thought maybe in 2001, Michelin was giving teams a little bit of a fighting chance. I'll check the comments after the qualifying session before we get to the first race. I gotta be careful of the downshifting there. I downshifted to first. just making use of that traction control. You can hear it work actually. Traction control. It's like a grinding sound that you hear if you try to accelerate hard coming out of the corner. That sound right there. You could actually hear it as well on the real life F1 videos back in 2001, 2002 before they banned traction control again. I think in 2007, 134.7 should be enough to put us in midfield. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention AI. I've set it to 100%. Also aggression, so we could expect a messy start. Let's try to go for another lap. Chief, please don't tell me I'm up on the first sector. You might jinx it. Yeah, the crew chief here can be a little bit talkative at times. Ah, you see? Jinxing it. And I think I may have forgotten to disable the invulnerability thing. There we go. Now we can destroy our car, so we have to be extra careful. And I want to change the default driving view. Let's try if we could change that right now. Could we? Or do we have to like exit the game? I'd rather exit the race first. Actually, let's just map a button for it. Oh, no, you can't. So I have to like use the buttons on my. I think it's the insert key. Hang on. There we go. That's much better. Just pressing the insert key. Hoping I didn't. So let's do another qualifying run. Of course, Schumacher. There we go, the mirror. Yeah, this feels much better. Definitely. Not like the awkward T-cam. Oh, the braking. Really good physics for its time. Thankfully, we are in the out lap. Ah, so much understeer and then snap oversteer. Let's see if we could set a good qualifying lap. Or a better one, rather. Currently P6 at the moment. Also, qualifying back then was a full hour, but you only had 12 laps to set your best time instead of the knockout qualifying sessions that we know today.
You're down at the first sector.
What do you mean I'm down? It's showing -6, so I should be quicker then.
You're down at the second sector.
Okay, that might have been a bug. P4, not bad. We have a comment from Samuel Kada. Nice. Hello, thank you for stopping by the stream. I think that will do it for qualifying. So I hope we do get a good time. Let's try to finish the session. Yeah, we went down to P8 after accelerating that one, but I think that will do. So, 5 lap race. Okay, that definitely is kind of short. I used to have like more than 5 laps. 10% is just little, so we need to load 5 laps worth of fuel. Okay, that is just right. So probably hard tires. Oh, we have monsoon tires, but we don't need a pit stop at least. So 5 laps race, 5 laps worth of fuel should be just enough. And yeah, let's get
Hello
racing.
there. Welcome to Australia. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful.
Right, so while waiting, let's check on the comments. Samuel Kata, thank you for stopping by the stream. We also have from my fan page. Oh, comments are just showing up. Facebook at only Facebook things. Now I can see the comments. We have Ernest Guevara, the age
Schumacher
of
first.
V10s. Indeed, yes. I
Hakkinen
remember using
second.
the orange arrows back then. Same, same.
Blumenberg third.
I used to
David
always pick the
Coulthard
orange
fourth.
arrows on some of the other
Ralf
F1
Schumacher
games on the
just got the edge
PlayStation.
over his teammate. He starts from fifth.
That steering wheel, is it
Räikkönen
supposed
sixth.
to have the BMW logo at the
Irvine
center,
seventh.
right? I think that was like
The
one of the
Williams
earlier.
driver endured a lackluster qualifying session and faces a tough start in the midst of a chasing pack. He starts eighth.
I think that's for the
Nick
2002 car.
Heidfeld, ninth.
Cedric Allen
Harris,
Conde,
10th.
challenge is real. Let's go.
Branson,
Thank you for
11th.
stopping by the stream, guys.
Trulli, 12th.
Let's check on my fan
Jack
page.
Villeneuve, 13th.
We only have reactions on my fan page.
Bertie, 15th.
Okay, we're
Giancarlo
coming into the end of the
Fisichella,
grid
16th.
now. So we should be
Jos
racing
Verstappen,
shortly. I'll check on the
17th.
YouTube later.
Button, 18th. Alonso, 19th.
I just hope we don't have the bots
Marquez,
there.
20th. Alesi, 21st.
Alright,
Bernaldi,
time.
22nd.
Now I do believe I have launch control. Press and hold. Oh, what the heck? I got hit from behind. I hope I didn't lose the rear wing. I don't know if my rear wing is still okay. I felt a hit from behind. Probably want to short shift just to conserve a little bit of fuel. I cannot take it quite quicker as the AI does because I cannot hit the curves on the right and the left. Okay, so maintaining P6, I'm holding up a Jaguar from behind, I think. Although we want to make the entire race with the fuel that we have. Also bear in mind in 2001, P6 is the last point scoring position. So if we could hang on to this, that would be great. Or maybe it's because I'm on hard tires. But then again, tire wear, we've set it to 7, so we have to be easy on the tires too. Oh no! Hitting the curb. That's not good. Thankfully no one hit us though. Sabbers are holding up this train, so we could still get back into like E7, I think. Yeah, we're losing out on acceleration. Lap 4. Suck. And the curves killed me again, what the fudge? Thank you, Villeneuve. Also, I hope I didn't lose the front wing. Yeah, car's still healthy. Kinda forgot what assist was helping not to spin when you hit the curve. And it only happens with a wheel though. Or I think back then this was developed for a different wheel and not the wheel I'm using at the moment. Or a modern wheel. Why is Prost ready in the pits? Are they making a pit stop? But I got two frosts behind me, so probably want to play around with the assists on the next race. Not sure if it's opposite lock or stability control. And I think we kind of overloaded the car a little. Oh, the braking again! Kind of trail brake there. Yeah, the Williams definitely has the engine power, so we could easily escape from the likes of Frost and Sauber. Michael Schumacher has won the race, of course. Only Schumacher things back in 2001, but sadly isn't the case for this generation. But we do have Verstappen, and I lucked out on the gearing again on the fudge. So gotta avoid first gear. It's the last lap of the race. Gonna finish P14. Yeah, car was just...
Well done, you finished 14.
And the crew chief still tells me well done. Really funny.
Well, that's the end of a fantastic Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah,
Here
that was
are the final
quite
results.
short, just 5 laps. I don't
Schumacher
recall
first.
having just 5 laps in the race
Hakkinen
back then.
second.
I know like 10
Rubens
laps at
Barrichello
least, so
third.
probably 20% was the
Ralph
number I had
Schumacher.
back then. Right, so next up we are going to the old Hockenheim ring, the one with the long straights. Good times, but before that, let's check on some comments. Kelvin, they're saying, dude, this is legend, definitely one of the legendary games. Good old, good old 2003 game back then. Actually, I'm thinking we go to Manicure first. Actually, we have to set the default view to the cockpit view since I'm using a wheel. And we'll probably want to turn on one of the assists. Yeah, traction control, we left it high for the sake of realism, but anti-lock brakes on off. Probably thinking, was it opposite lock? We'll have to try that and try playing around with the curbs.
Located just a few kilometers
Because
south
it
of
felt
Nevers,
just kind of
the
weird, like when
Magny-Cours
you hit the
circuit
curb,
combines several
the
short
wheel just
straights with an interesting
just
selection of
turns
slow
towards
to
the
medium
curve,
speed
making it
turns,
tricky
hairpins,
to
and chicanes. Like the Spanish circuit de Catalunya,
control
Magny-Cours
the
is a
car.
modern facility built specifically for motor racing.
Built specifically for motor racing, but only the GT cars use this track already in the modern times. So I've turned on opposite lock, or in Gran Turismo is the counter steering assist. Because this game just feels weird with modern equipment. Let's try hitting the curbs. Yeah, the curb still dragged me towards it. But at least it doesn't spin the car this time, so I think this one feels a little bit more natural though. Oh, there we go. I think it's stability, not opposite lock. Let's try that. Well, I think stability makes more sense because F1 teams were at the peak of their technological advancements back then. It's all about engineering the car to its best, including its electronics as well. And this was the old last section of the Manicourt circuit before they changed to the new one, which is still in use today. Kind of an understeer there. Right, let's see if we could push the car. Yeah, I think the stability control helped. Yeah, car feels good now. Just gonna check on YouTube real quick before we proceed with the qualifying session. Car is good. I don't think we'd have a problem with it. Checking on YouTube. Oh, we have a viewer. Muhammad Rizki Satya, hello. Thank you for stopping by our YouTube channel. And thankfully no bots at the moment, so right, let's keep the fun rolling. Ernest Guevara, weird physics back in the day, but it is fun to play though, definitely. I would play this more with a keyboard back then because didn't know there was something like a wheel or a gamepad for PC. So, practice session, we'll skip all of it, go straight to qualifying, and load the specialized setup for this track. Just enough fuel for qualifying. That 70 liters would do. I don't know how many laps the race would be, but yeah, let's just wait for the countdown to start. Already, this had ambient and track temperature. 19 degrees on the ambient, 26 degrees on the track. I fondly remember one time there was a mall event in SM Mega Mall, as we call it. They were using this game. I think forgot who was the host, but they were supporters of Williams back then. Maybe I should try Grand Prix 4 next time for our next Friday Classics. 16.7, not bad but not good because there we go, Ralph Schumacher just took pole. Yeah, I think we'll take it from there. P9, yeah. Although the stability kind of helped. 7 laps on the race. Let's see if we have enough fuel for 7 laps. Yes, we do. Just enough again, so hard tires. And
Hello there. Welcome to France.
could
The
use some
weather, as
water.
so often is the case here, is just wonderful.
Well, thankfully you could skip this
Over
cutscene
30
by just
degrees and
pressing.
climbing. It's a fantastic day for Formula One.
Yeah, sometimes it tells you it's so hot, yet he says it's a fantastic day for Formula One. Well, not exactly a fantastic day for the tires, I'd say. Launch control. Send it! Sometimes the AI can be really timid. Not exactly like humans, but they can really be overpowered in this case. Don't touch the curb, they can still slow you down. Oh! Dampers need work, I think, as I would say.
Starting July is running 5th, less than 3 seconds ahead. You're running 6th.
Well, do they have maximum downforce?
Starting July is running 5th, less than 3 seconds ahead. You're running 6th. Sauber, already in the pits.
Well, the good news is the car is stable. The bad news is AI up ahead is still kind of overpowered.
Michael Schumacher has just
Wait,
put up the fastest
they're
lap of the
pitting?
race. You're running 7th. 4 laps to go.
So without stability control, the physics of this game feels like Forza Motorsport 7 on simulation steering. But stability control enabled feels like Forza on normal steering. There's some sort of dampening effect when the car goes out of control.
Michael Schumacher has just put up the fastest lap of the race. Barry Kelly is running fifth, about 5 seconds ahead. You're running sixth.
I wonder if Manipur will be used for F1 again in the future, because at the moment SRO GT cars in Europe use this track for SRO GT World Challenge Europe, and we might see this track in the future of ACC. We're in P6 again, just like last time, but this time we have a much more stable car, although it didn't want to turn that time.
Schumacher has just put up the fastest lap of the race.
AI is crazy fast.
Minardi already in the pits. Barry Kelly is running fifth, about 5 seconds ahead. You're running sixth.
Two laps to go, just enough fuel.
Ferrari already in the pits.
Wait, one of the Ferraris looks like they're pitting.
McLaren
Interesting.
already in the pits.
McLaren as well.
BAR already in the pits.
So they must have been on the soft tires then. BAR is also ready from the pits. And I don't think we need to pit at all.
Schumacher is in the pits now. Cross already in the pits. There's a spinning sector 3. Watch for the yellow flag. You're running seventh. You're on the final lap. Don't stop now. Minardi already in the pits.
I saw a comment from Ernest, but I cannot read it. It's quite a long one. I'll check it after the race. David Coulthard won.
Schumacher has finished second.
Ralph Schumacher P2, Barrichello P3, and will take home
Well
P4.
done, you finished fourth. Trulli has finished in fifth position.
Ernest Guevara says, with these cars using the grooved slick tires back then, imagine how fast these V10 powered beasts if they're using the full slicks in today's F1. Actually, there are a few videos on YouTube experimenting how
After that
these older F1
fantastic
cars
French
would
Grand Prix,
perform.
let's take a look at the final results.
So we finished P4 there. There are a few YouTube videos showing how these F1 cars would perform with slick tires, mostly through modifications in Assetto Corsa. And definitely they were faster because there's more contact patch between the road and the tire, touching the road. Not like the grooves back from 1998 to 2008, so that's roughly 11 seasons. They used groove tires for dries. The only advantage being these groove tires, whenever it suddenly rains, it it buys some drivers some time to get back to the pits safely without spinning out, instead of the slick tires today. Like, they just completely aquaplane, completely lose grip. But these groove tires, they buy the drivers some time in case of a sudden downpour. Like back in the 2000 German Grand Prix, Rubens Barrichello decided to stay out on dry tires because half of the track was dry and half of the track was wet. Like, it was the stadium section that was wet, and the high speed forest section which was dry, which is basically going to be the last track we'll be doing for tonight before we wrap up the stream, and that is in the old Hockenheim circuit before Hermann Tilke took over and changed, basically cut the track in half, made it a little bit more technical on the first half rather, before the stadium section. But this one has its very, very long straights. So we are going there right now for the last race of the night before we wrap up the stream. Kelvin Singh, Williams, year 2000. No, this is year 2001. Juan Pablo Montoya is part of the team now. The 2000 Williams had a significantly different paint scheme compared to 2001 and 2002.
Located near the historic city of Heidelberg, the high-speed Hockenheim
So
circuit
we'll do one more
consists of
race in
two
this
very
Friday
distinct
Classics
sections.
stream
The
before
outer
we wrap up
section that
tonight.
runs through the
Good to
sprawling
see a
pine
lot of
forests
viewers who dropped by
combines
tonight.
huge
Thank you for
straights with fast
stopping by.
chicanes,
Hope you guys
whilst
enjoy the
technical
stream.
stadium section consists almost entirely of slow corners. Originally built as a test track for Mercedes cars, this is the fastest circuit on the Formula One season.
So we'll load the 2001 Germany setup. And I still don't know what the name of that commentator was. He was very prominent back in the late 90s, but, well, as we know, got overshadowed by the one and only Crofty. So here we are at the old Hockenheim circuit, complete with the forests and everything. We're not turning sharp right after the north curve. Instead, it's just flat out 300 kilometers per hour in this section, braking through the Jim Clark curve, or the Jim Clark chicane, because it's technically chicane, but they call it a curve. And then the Ost curve, I think might be the tightest section of the track. And then this one is where the old circuit hairpin exists today. I mean, the new circuit hairpin exists today. And then right by here is the other stadium section. We just past the Senna curve, as they call it. And then back to the stadium, which is pretty much unchanged. The banked Sachs curve. Well, Hockenheim is pretty straightforward. I think we could go for like a one-shot qualifying. John Jorel Di Dimatulak stopping by the stream. Good to see you as well, bro. Thank you for stopping by. And back then in the early 2000s, they didn't really care about track limits that much. Kelvinder Singh says this has better looking clouds than iRacing. Well, to think about it, this cloud system is basically carried over all the way to R Factor 2 today. Oh yeah, this game had dynamic weather. I'm not sure why R Factor 1 was not able to carry it over from this game. Most of the races in R Factor 1 were always dry. Although it did have what do you call it? Dynamic day-night transition. It didn't have dynamic weather like as in it would rain. Which is what worries me on the remake of Forza or Forza Motorsport coming next year, because they did say there will be dynamic day and night transition, dynamic daylight changes, but they didn't really mention about dynamic weather. But anyway, let's go to qualifying. And actually, rather than qualify and have to do the lap all over again, let's just go straight to the race. So, 4-lap race. And yeah, again, we have barely enough fuel. And I think we could stick to soft tires this time because there aren't really that much corners. So, yeah, let's go.
Hello there. Welcome to Germany. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Over 30 degrees and climbing. It's a fantastic day for Formula One.
See, he thinks 30 degrees is fantastic. It's a fantastic day at 30 degrees, but for the tires, I don't think so. So I kind of regret using the softs now, but let's see. Quick tip, or rather quick trivia, launch control in Formula 1 back in the day actually assisted in upshifting as you start the race. The only time launch control deactivates is when you release the throttle. From there, you have control of the car's gearbox. Whoa, Eddie Irvine! Careful there. Got to pass Olivier Panis, that's why. Sorry about that. Just making use of the brute power of the BMW engine back in the day. BMW, I believe, was the most powerful engine in 2001, but isn't exactly as reliable as the Ferraris, and the Ferraris just had that advantage in cornering. Which is why I thought the Williams had technically the fastest car. in terms of top speed, but Ferrari just had a complete package: reliability, grip, engine power. AI is crazy fast on that corner. 3 laps to go. Look how we catch up to the cars in front just by straight line speed. Careful there. Hello, Villeneuve. Can we make the move on the outside? No, not exactly. Looking to defend early. I thought it was lap 4 already. We still have like another lap. And Ferrari's pitting again. What the fudge? Do we even have enough fuel? I think we do. And they pitted Schumacher again.
Schumacher is running fifth. He's right in front of you. You're running sixth. You're on the final lap. Don't stop now.
Yeah, we wish we had more laps. But I think we made a good decision on the softs though. Crew chief's not telling us that the softs are worn.
Barry Kelly has won the race. Coulthard has finished second. Schumacher has finished in third position. Well done, you finished
Wait,
fourth.
someone had an engine failure there
Jarno
at turn
Trulli
1.
has finished fifth.
Right, so that will be it for Classic Stream. What a game this is for its time. Although physics are weird compared to GTR 2, which I would well, GTR 2 released much later than F1 Challenge.
It's been a
2006 against
fascinating journey, Groff.
2003, so physics were not exactly yet refined, as I would say. But for its time, it was quite a challenge. Like, I still wonder if I had joined that mall event that I stumbled them using this game. Uh, but I can't recall if they were using a wheel or just a keyboard. But either way, it was good to see games like these taking over the early esports scene. But that was 2003, 2002. Yeah, it's just sad that this game didn't really have a career mode of some sort or a championship. Like, it did have a championship mode, but it depends on your selected season. Like, if you want to start from 1999, you have to do it manually. Like, you have to go to your player profile and then edit it, select 1999, and then from there you select your team. It's not as it's not as engaging as you have a career mode that you start all the way from 1999. You don't have other choices. Although you could do single races with other seasons, but if you want a full career mode, you start from 1999. This game didn't have that feature, at least on PC. I believe it had the feature on its console equivalent because this game also released as F1 Career Challenge 99 2002 on the console, whereas they just call it F1 Challenge 9902 on the PC. So this game quickly felt kind of boring. There was really no sense of progress. It's just a pure sim. You have your own stats, tracking how many races you've done, how many races you've won, and so forth. And you are free to select any team. You can freely select Ferrari or Williams in my case. But overall, this game kind of a created a path for sim racing today. Basically, F1 Challenge, the developers of this game, when the F1 license went to Sony exclusively, they had to develop a different game, and from there they developed R Factor, which was kind of a game that allowed modders or third-party developers to be free and create their own content, which helped the game basically. And then they came with R Factor 2, which still runs to this day. So basically, this game is like 3 generations old. Yeah, great game, this one. Good memories back in my childhood. So, yeah, before we wrap up the stream, last minute comments. Let's see if there are any people commenting before I sign out for the night. Nothing much on Racecast. Let's check on my fan page. Yeah, just some reactions on my fan page, although not much comments. Let's check on YouTube one last time before we say goodnight. Yeah, I think pretty quiet on YouTube, or is it a bug, or yeah, so that'll be it for tonight. So I will see you guys again for another stream. I'm thinking of, maybe I'll check out that new Grid Legends content that just came out not long ago, but it's more of bumper cars. I know it's not really my thing, but sure, we might want to check it out one of these days. So I'll see you next time, hopefully next week, because tomorrow and Sunday, I have some commitments. Yeah, so I will see you guys soon. Stay healthy, stay safe, and have a good weekend. It's Friday night, so have a long weekend ahead. Well, not really a long weekend, I'd say, but yeah, weekends just started basically. So yeah, so I will see you guys again next week. Bye bye for now.